Hey everybody, welcome back to Thirsty Therapy. John, how the hell are you, sir?
Hey, hello, y'all. Sorry, getting my audio set up.
Can you
What'd you
hear us?
say?
I
Yes, all good.
said, welcome in everybody. That's what it is. Sorry, I was a little distracted. I'm getting the last little bit of
Okay.
lemon juice ready for
Ooh,
the stream.
okay, we greeted everybody. I'm caught up now.
Nice. And that was basically it was real. Yeah, it was a real quick high. So how are you?
Oh, I'm very fine. Thanks for asking.
Nice. I'm
I
glad.
really enjoyed our last stream where we tasted a bunch of different drinks, a bunch of different liquors, all at once, compared them, and I don't, this might not be the permanent fixture of the show, but I'm excited to repeat that formula tonight and taste something else.
Me too. I'm excited too. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, it definitely doesn't have to be the permanent formula, but it was a great yeah, it was so much fun that it was like a great reminder of how easy it was for us to or not easy, how much fun it is for us to kind of dive into our reflections of the things that we're tasting and kind of talk to all our friends in our audience about uh, like what they're experiencing with the same thing. And that's really like what we like doing is bringing everybody together. Been able to do it on uh, at actual bars, and now we kind of have this as our pivot, and we're still able to like kind of talk and discuss. And is that thing, I forgot to set up the other camera, is it not working? Is OBS on it? Sorry, y'all. Hold on just a second. It was
I
my
may have
fault for
been
not making sure.
I may have been messing with the filter. If you right click and go to what is it, filters or?
Thank goodness, I'm glad they got this. We'll let them work on that, and I'm going to. So I'm getting my lemon juice ready for
No, that's not it.
the whiskey sour that we're going to do tonight. No,
Weird.
that is weird. Here, I can take it out too.
It looks good earlier. Technology.
Here, why don't I just take it out? Hold on, everybody. Thank you for your patience. John, we need a TT technical.
Yeah. Definitely don't make me go full screen and start telling jokes.
Oh yeah, that's really weird. Here, let's get rid of that. Yeah, I got you.
What was it? Oh no! No!
Hey-o.
That was it. Hey,
Booyah.
let me. Hey.
There's a lady on a couch. How are ya? Let's see here. The fourth wall. We've broken the fourth wall.
You know, Bree, we used to give you a name tag when you joined us for After Hours. You were Bree the Fernet Branca. I don't even remember what that stream was about.
What was that stream about? Oh, it was about the hanky panky? Is that what we were? Was I vermouth, you gin, vermouth, and
that could be.
Maybe? I don't know. Swing in the dark. Let's hope so. All right, so let's talk. I got my lemon juice ready. Might as well put it in the fridge. There I go. All right. Well, I thought everybody could see me in the fridge, but I still haven't moved the hinges. That's how I'm up on stuff. What's up? Who else is a procrastinator?
Good to see you again, Alex.
Hello, Alex. How are you? Luciff, very nice to see you. I just now am able to look up on the chats. John, thank you for redirecting me. I snuck in. I'm not, my little pre-gamer here is not bourbon though. I'm not cheating. You're so much a smarter of a pre-gamer, sir. That's why you with your water. But I snuck a little bit more of that mellow corn, the straight corn whiskey.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. Thank you very much for. Apparently, this is hard to get, so thanks for snagging me one.
I'm excited. Yeah.
And what a bottle! Like you just know that that's going to be good. Yellow plastic stopper.
Right. Dude, does it not remind you of it reminds me of Ryan Nephew though.
Ray and Nephew, yeah.
Ray and Nephew,
that's what I thought it was when you were holding it.
Which is not a bad rum, right?
No, that's right.
That's where we're at, really.
That's right.
How often does this lesson keep coming up? Oh my gosh. People in any country can't figure it out, to be honest with you. So back to mellow corn. Corn whiskey. Sorry.
You're drinking an all corn whiskey, 100 proof. I thought that was a nice touch on that one. Surprisingly easy to drink.
It needs it. I think too much more water. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no.
Finish, please.
Well, why does that not fit into the rest of our night?
Because we're only having to abide by our rules of our 3 rules of bourbon, and that is that makes bourbon an exclusive type of whiskey. That is that it is made of 51% at least or more of corn. That it has it is, let's see, aged in a newly charred white oak barrel, and
can't be a reused barrel.
Cannot be a reused barrel. In fact, but those barrels never go to waste. Like, they're shipped all around the world for various things. Let's see, Irish whiskey goes into old bourbon barrels. A lot of scotches.
Some scotch, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a cool system that keeps that keeps perpetuating these barrels and keeps adding to the depth of their flavor. You know me, I'm right back to like the core of where that flavor is coming from. And then what's last? Your epithet today?
Third thing, made in America.
Made in America, just like you.
Just like me. According to America, bourbon can only be made in America.
Right. That's what makes it.
That is a U.S. Congress designation.
Right. Well, that's what makes it apparently bourbon. You know what I mean? Which is funny, though. We've learned about so many different alcohols now, you and I, and we've talked about them on this stream, that have come from America, being like rum because of all the leftover molasses, and that was a cheap product for the colonists to buy and turn into alcohol. That came before whiskey, that came before bourbon. Like, pretty wild. But bourbon is so distinct within itself as far as like whiskeys go, right? I will say that I taste that.
Versus, say, like the rye whiskey, which is another American staple of whiskey that we tasted last time. You would say those are spicier and drier, and then these are going to be tend to be bourbons are going to tend to be brighter and sweeter.
It's sweeter and richer. In fact, I wouldn't necessarily go to bright, because it's a different. Making sure I got the best little fruit fly. Come on, little. I look right straight over at our carnivorous plant. Like, it's like I just gave it a guilt look and I didn't even mean to. Like, what? Aren't you doing your fucking job here? And like, it's one fruit fly. Sorry, plant. You're doing a great job. Where the fuck were we? I'm sorry, everybody. I got distracted by fighting off that
bourbon versus rye.
Thank you. No, bourbon, and exclusively because of that new charred barrel, right? It hasn't been reused, so none of that charring has been stripped from it, none of that rich flavor, and then they're allowed to caramelize for, now there's no rule on this, but I would hope that if you're going for bourbon, you're gonna allow it to sit in a barrel for at least 3 years, at minimum, to allow those sugars to start changing, and then you're going to get the richness of that barrel. So I think that that's why bourbon is sweeter, and a little bit more robust, when it comes to that. Then you have different variations, whether you have a bourbon with a heavy wheat backing on it. I think those tend to be a lot smoother. You can still have bourbons. Let's see, we just did Ransom, right? Ransom for their party, their bourbon release. Their bourbon has rye, wheat, corn, and a little bit of barley. That's what it was. So it's as long as it's hitting that 51% marker on the corn, then it counts as a bourbon. As long as you're putting in that barrel and you're doing it within the United States. Now, what does that work? So it can be Alaska and Hawaii as well, or is it only continental United States? I wonder.
Oh,
was
that'd
it only
mean? That'd be pretty mean to say. You can't make this.
Yeah. Or was it set aside for only the states that were part of the Union or part of the United States when that thing got put through? It's kind of funny to go through like old. Fuck you guys! We want to make bourbon too. I guess Oregon would be that way too. We were one of the last.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you look at drill down into local municipalities, obscure old laws. Like, why are these still on the books? When was this ever a thing?
Right. America, we have corn. That's right. The unique thing about America, the one thing that once America was settled started going around the world. That's one of my favorite stories, is how much corn is embraced in Japan when I lived there, and how it was the first place I've ever been that had one standard pizza in most pizza places that had corn on it. It was fucking delicious too. Like, don't shun it. Don't hate it. I'll take it. It's so fucking good. I was all about it. I was like, oh, Loriander, what's up? Nice to see you. Or nice to see your what do I call that, John? Help me out here. I can't
Avatar?
see his face. His tag.
His Prime Gaming icon.
Handle. Ooh.
It's nice to see him chat.
See me chat. Yay!
I like that.
Thank you. Words are hard for me, but you've been here before. You know that.
Such English.
Right. I do it well. I do it so good. Then I had like channeled my grandma there. Did I ever tell you my grandma was an English professor, John?
Like British English?
No, American English.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's cool. Wow, really?
British English would be amazing. Yeah. I distinctly remember how funny it was that I would like some stories I would just stop telling because I would be corrected so many times within like the telling of the story that I couldn't even remember the story by the end. Like my friend and I, like my typical ADHD, I'd be trying to say like a quick story about how my friend Seth and I went and like jumped a dirt mound with our bikes and like fell off and something else happened. But I would never get any of that part of the story out. I'd be like, me and Seth and I, me and Seth and I, every every couple of words would be
English
this new correction, and then I'd just be like, it was fun, and I I will say she was never, I feel it now with my kids though, she was never ever malicious with it. I have to hold myself back from correcting the kids now, but sometimes I just I want to say some of those things too, because I think that I'm helping them within the fitting into that which is educated talk. Having our language correctly pronounced and enunciated. Did I lose you? All right.
All this
blink twice if you're.
All this linguistic talk is making me thirsty.
Should we be talking about all this around whiskey? Oh yeah, we got started late. Sorry everybody, camera issues.
Let's taste some whiskey,
John. Thank you for being my lasso.
Yeah.
Grab me down. All right, whiskey tasting. Let's
You
talk
want to
about.
line up the bottles for everybody
I'll
to
line
see?
up the bottles. You list them off. Bree, you want to help us out? Bree's got the release. You are gonna hit that list. That's what it is. Welcome back. Hey-o. That's right, John. Please, I'll wait for you.
I'm ready.
It's so complicated. I know. Are you okay? Go ahead, John.
Buffalo Trace.
Wait, what's next? You call him out. I'll set him down.
Elijah Craig, small batch.
Bam!
Oh, we got a rare one. Henry McKenna, 10-year.
Hey-o. Man, somebody just told me how they smashed one of these in a parking lot. They finally got a bottle and they dropped it in the parking lot on the way to their car.
Oh no.
It was the first time they ever thought about licking it up. Yeah. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Wild Turkey 101. We had their rye last time. We're doing the same brand, but bourbon.
It's a staple in my bar. I like the bourbon better than I do the rye.
And finally, Woodford Reserve.
And by the way, everybody, we should just put this in for the picture, not to be mistaken. When we're talking about Henry McKenna, we are talking about Henry McKenna 10-year, which is delicious 100 proof. Henry McKenna, their blended bourbon, or their bourbon whiskey, delicious as well, especially for an affordable, sweeter side bourbon. But yeah, just know, John, and the reason I'm telling everybody is, John, do you want to walk them through your story that happened just like about a month ago?
Yeah, actually, I was at a whiskey bar outdoor in this Victorian house, and I thought it's just a beautiful place. I like whiskey. I'm going to stop in for their happy hour, and they had Henry McKenna listed as a shot available on happy hour. And I said, Billy's always talking about Henry McKenna. I got to try this by itself. I think I've had it in a cocktail, maybe that Billy made me once. Got to try it by itself. And I did. And I was like, oh, this is what Billy's talking about. Kind of a mediocre introductory whiskey. Kind of rough.
Yeah.
It was not the one that you're talking about, Henry McKenna 10-year. It was the regular stuff.
Right. It was, I will say it's a good, heavy, long leap above Old Crow. But outside of that,
which was also on the happy hour menu. I should have known something was up.
Yeah, you're like, weird. They must not know what they got, the goods they got there.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pull a fast one. Tartards. Oh my God, I love you. Thank you, Tartards. Good call. And thank you, Bree, for being Tartards advocate.
Yeah. So we didn't know all the whiskeys that we were drinking last time, so we kind of had to guess at an order. I think here we know a little bit better. We know more of these products, but we need to figure out an order to drink them in. Well, can you explain how that goes again, Billy, for those who missed it last time?
Yeah. Normally when we're doing tastings, we want to start with the more mild of whatever we're tasting, whether we're going from wine, whether we're doing bourbon, whiskeys, sake. This is especially true, and this is how I had so much practice with sake, because it's such a delicate amount of flavors. Here we have a little bit more robust amount of flavors, but your taste buds are going to react basically the same way. You don't want to overpower them. They're not going to be able to pick up on the more subtle flavors if you do, to start off with, right? So with that being said, I know right off the top of my head that the most mild flavored bourbon that we have here is going to be the Buffalo Trace. So I'm going to move that to we'll call this the beginning. And by the way, John, I thought this was funny because that this one hit, by the way, did you see this label? This labeling? That this one even hit the shelf, because technically I believe that if you work at a liquor store and this is like the labels are messed up like this, you're allowed to damage them out, and employees are allowed to, I think, buy them at less amount possibly, or maybe even take them themselves. Yeah, just because of the label, because it's kind of
Uh,
like this.
LCC is pretty big about labels.
Yeah. So they're like that about the front label
Yeah.
because they have to be like that about the back label. So it's just a very like, because all labels could have information that is like pertinent to the thing. I know, funny.
Like,
I'm
the
I
employee in the back was tearing labels.
Yeah.
you know the owner would pick up on it. The OLCC would pick up on it in like a heartbeat. I guarantee it.
There was like a pattern.
More than like, yeah, but if there was a pattern of like, I guarantee you are the mathematician. I guarantee you they have an over and under of maybe like 2% that happens with, and any more than that, it's like a spike in, you know what I mean, or that, or more than that, maybe not, but maybe or more than that, that they would want to try and send that, regather it up and send it back, or get money back from the original maker.
Like a threshold.
Right. That's just my guess. Otherwise, why would they? Otherwise, they wouldn't have this. And to be honest with you, I kind of hate to hear that, because they used to say the same thing to people like me who are retail employees, like about clothing and stuff, that they were able to go out because there was like something wrong with a hem, and who's going to pay full price with like something wrong with like the cuff of a pant? But at the same time, like, we would pay for it, we'd fix it in a heartbeat. A poor kid would be happy as shit to get those pants, and people would be like, no, that's just going to make them start ripping pants. Like, no, nobody's going to do that, go through that shit. Anyway, yeah, see, there's a criminal right there. That's why the thought went in.
Bree,
Anyway.
I beg you, get me discounted liquor.
Hey, Loriander, Eagle Rare would be a good one on this list. This list, and in fact, Loriander, we might just have to do this like 2 or 3 more times, let's be honest, because it's bourbon. Like, we had 9 bourbons picked out, and John and I were like, well, maybe after last week we should narrow this down to 5, since we're still making cocktails. So yes, Eagle Rare, you're 100% right. There are a few more that I know people would want on my list. I know Mike Sanzaki's out there yelling, why isn't there Larceny on our list? And by the way, John, Larceny, another Heaven Hill distributed bourbon, or another Heaven Hill distributed.
I like that
whiskey.
one. They're very affordable, and I thought they tasted nice.
Yeah,
Larceny. Yeah.
I'm with you. I just like that some of them had a key. I don't know why. I've watched too many Mickey's Twice Before Christmas with my kids. They used to come with a little hanging key on them. Oh, kind of like, was it bow and arrow? Do you remember the stuff I shared with you, John?
Yeah.
How the hell did that not get on our list?
That's ringing a
Look at
bell.
that.
Yeah.
Bow, and it's a new bourbon. Oh, got it. Bow and board.
Well,
Anyway, it was that was delicious. You remember that? That was fantastic. Nice and rich. It was the one we opened to celebrate moving into our new place. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Let's let John. What's your next guess then? So we definitely have Buffalo Trace to start us off as far as the more mild. What's your next guess then for the next most mild?
possibly Elijah Craig.
Okay.
The reason I picked that is, I mean, that is an awesome, it's like sipping. It's good for sipping. It's good for mixing. But it's not. But because it's not delicate, I wouldn't put it next. Like I want to be able to taste it at the end of the tasting, not because it would like ruin my mouth, but because well, I don't know. Maybe I'm ordering the tasting based on least favorite to most favorite. You know.
Maybe.
I know the good ones are going to be last.
I'm kind of with you though. So I think that Elijah Craig is my go-to when it comes to sours, especially because I think it has a larger spice level. I think it's got just a little, especially when these two are roughly about the same price. I think there's so much more character to Elijah Craig. Then there is the Buffalo Trace. Sorry again, Heaven Hill. Oh wait, I think you do both.
We just had to include Buffalo Trace because
Right. Because everybody has
person who gets into
Buffalo
whiskey has a Buffalo Trace phase. Yeah.
But what if we did? What if we did mix this up and go and leave Elijah Craig for a little bit later with our 100 proofs? And what if we did Woodford, Wild Turkey, Elijah Craig, and Henry McKenna to fin? Actually, that's wrong. Blade and Bow, Lucid. Good looking out. That's exactly
you shared some of that with me. That was the one. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about that?
Wow. Okay, so you're so Elijah Craig last because the boldest on spice.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time between these two. I will be perfectly honest. And it's
Okay.
funny,
Yeah.
and here's my hesitation. This one's a 101. So the fact that it's like just a little bit higher proof, I'm wondering if that's going to come forward in our like tasting as far as like more. But
Right.
you know what? Enough talking about this shit. Let's just dive in and try it, because then we can start moving it all around, right? Moriander, Luciv, I know all of you are ready. Right? All right, let's do this. John, pony up.
Let's go. And you know, last time we dove in, and the very first one that we tasted, our mouths were fresh. We weren't acclimated. We didn't know what to make of it. We had to taste the other ones to kind of calibrate. However, this time we do have a tasting guide, a whiskey flavor wheel.
Hell yeah!
Maybe that will aid us.
Can we first say too? Also, thank you to Uni Ebby for showing us, like, introducing us to these fun flavor wheels. Good looking out. We actually found a different flavor wheel that was similar to the one that you would send us from Westland Whiskey. John found another one as we were looking around for a little bit more condensed amount of information to be able to share with everyone. It was the Westland. I was impressed though, John. It was like if you were talking to me, right?
Ooh, Sean, so fancy. I missed out on this.
Right? It looks cool.
Let's share this. And anybody can go see this. Is on vinepair.com. I love their great industry bar publication. No, just to let people know what we're talking about. It's a little tiny to see, so maybe we can drop a link in the chat.
Yeah, I got it.
Vine Pair whiskey flavor wheel.
Love it. Cool. It just doesn't seem right though. I gotta switch these around just a little. This one's like I suddenly started channeling these. Yeah, that's what it is. You guys feeling me on the shaping even of this whole thing? Bree, do you want yours to go from beginning to end this way? Beginning to end? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, huh? It's because it's backwards to me. Huh? What do books do? Just kidding. No, it's because of the how hers is backwards. Sweet. All right, so we got Woodford Reserve.
Alex, we're just having a little nip of the five. We might go back and try each one a little bit, but we're not going to drink a full shot of each one. We did 6 ryes last time, and admittedly that ran a little long, so we're down to five bourbons today.
Right. Just to kind of be able to look at how much more we got out of comparing. Oh man, sorry, Bree. Comparing the complexities of each one, and how much we got out of comparing them more than once. When we were able to actually pick up more that we enjoyed about the High West. The water thing applies, or
Oh, we may bloom them after we taste them initially.
yes, if you want to.
Another note. What about glassware?
This
Looks
one
like you're going for open glasses so you can get your nose in there.
Yeah, you know me. I'm not. I'm the bad boy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the. I never. You know, I like having my whole snout. Maybe it's because I have a little bit larger of a snout, but I like being able to have my whole nose in there, so we can actually like get smell some of those the spice levels and the complexity of flavors. It helps me taste things a little bit better, I think. And I didn't take the plastic off this. I should have just cut it. Last but not least, you know, John, it has been at least like 8 months since I had any Elijah Craig. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I all of a sudden stopped being able to find the handles, and I was like, started going to something else.
Yeah, I'm excited. I bought that as my workhorse spirit, my workhorse bourbon for my bar, rather. Thank you for introducing me to Elijah Craig Small Batch. It's a good one.
My pleasure.
Drinkable by itself and good for mixing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we talked about, it really does hold up no matter what we're making to the complexity of pretty much every drink. And I think whiskey sours, especially with eggs, like we're going to be trying a little bit later, is a great example of that because you have so much flavor with the lemon juice already and the sweetener, and then you also have like a good amount of homogenizing, if you will, or tampering down of flavors because of the egg whites. They soften everything. So you really want something. I feel like Buffalo Trace gets completely lost when it comes to things like that. But I digress. Let's start tasting. Let's put some of this in our face.
All right, so we're going to calibrate with the lightest one, and let's well, cheers, and
Cheers.
we'll refer to the wheel.
Buffalo Trace. Let's get that wheel up. I can't even see it. So
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace is 80 proof.
Yeah, it's an easy introduction.
Oh no, 90 proof. It is a nice
yummers.
It is not at all, and I did not mean to sound this way, it is not at all a bad bourbon.
Okay, so
It's just very
we're talking about with the wheat
simple.
milk. So am I supposed to be able to taste all these flavors?
No, some of them, like you're not going to get smoky, or you're not going to get peat or oak. Well, you're going to get oak, sorry. You're not going to get peat, though. Might get some dried fruit. Or
I remember the first bourbon tasting I ever did, kind of like what we're doing now. I was supposed to write notes. I didn't have a wheel in front of me, just, you know, from the top of your head, write some flavor notes. I just wrote vanilla for everything.
I feel that.
I think that is a direct reflection of that oak barrel and the caramelizing process, too. The vanilla note.
So in other words,
So
in the vine pair wheel, the sweet area is lighting up for me right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I believe that, especially for this one.
Yeah, I agree with the sweet.
I think most of these are going to are going to be not confined in a bad way, but they're all going to have oak. They should have oak, sweet, spice, probably a little dried fruit or fruit, because sometimes you get a little more orange coming through. It's the last one. Nuts. Oh, and definitely nuts. Yeah.
On this one,
Not yet. John was.
oh, you say nuts for the Buffalo Trace?
No, just saying for in general for bourbon.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So definitely, okay. So for now, sweet is jumping out at me, but maybe I'll calibrate as we go on. Let's continue.
And Loriander, I couldn't agree more. It does represent bourbon very well. That is very well said, and it won't scare them off. This is a great introductory for folks to have. John, do you think your mom could enjoy this bourbon?
Ooh, let's try the rest of them, and then we'll find one that I don't want to scare her away.
You have a good
with the
idea.
Sweetness.
Oh, that's because she's a Scotch cigarette. That is a very, very good point. Yeah, and there it is, Loriander too. that has a big part to do with it, right? That's obviously we're catering to everyone's different tastes, and what they're used to, what they've grown up with, what they're comfortable with. So yeah, we're always like working with that. So oddly enough, that would be wild that this could scare off somebody who didn't want things too sweet, but it could.
Yeah, I mean,
All right,
I don't think bourbon's like that big of a leap from Scotch, but I would play it safe and maybe not go for the light and sweetness that we're starting with here.
right. All
What's
right.
behind door number 2?
Dun 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 dun! Woodford Reserve. Oh, it smells like bananas. It actually
So actually, I have
a sweet
well,
caramely smell.
I have a fun story about this. I think the first time I ever tried this was with I am Alex Laud, who's in the chat right now.
What?
I think he introduced me to this. We were playing Cards Against Humanity. That's the end of that story.
That's about that. This
Oh.
used to be like on my this used to be like too rich for my blood for a long time. I thought it was way too expensive of a bourbon. It's hotter, huh?
Wow, it's completely different.
There it is, my friend. Just like sake, though, I will say, like this. That's why bourbon's a little bit closer to sake than some other whiskeys, because it's got so much more of a formulaic like rules to hit, and you really only have the mash, the oak barrel, and you know what I mean. Like there's only so many factors, and yet you have so many different distinct flavors with each one of these. All right, so what are you getting off the wheel, John?
Yeah, it's a different slice of the wheel, for sure. I mean, the cask, I feel like or sorry, rather the charring, the oak comes through here.
Mm-hmm. Much more.
Sorry, the cask finish, that part of the wheel does not apply here because these have to be new casks
Right.
for it to be bourbon. But yeah, definitely more toasty, more woody.
Much more woody. I actually really appreciate that. Maybe that's why I used to like this one so much when I was younger. I used to do so much more woodworking. And no joke, as you exhale, it's that smell of like sawdust in your or in a wood shop. I get so much more dry, and I want to say nuts and
Yes.
dry nuts and dry fruit, and I get a spice with it. But like, not walnuts or pecans. Ooh,
Like that was sweet. I was getting the marshmallow, but
I'm not. That's not too far off. I was thinking something more astringent, hazelnut or I guess almond's pretty astringent. Hazelnut is butterier, isn't it? It's got higher fat. What do you
Yeah,
think?
good call on
John?
the astringent because it does. This is nutty, but it's a dry nut. It can't be. Yeah, pecan would be. No.
Pecan's pralini. It's rounded. It's buttery. It's why I like using it. Certain like one of honestly my most popular bitters and my most proud bitters I've ever made is a it was a or it was a like a pecan. What the fuck was it? Do you remember the pecan?
what was that? What's it called that?
It did have it had a good name too. That was the one that somebody took to Kentucky and did an old fashioned contest with and won. The guy from here. What was the name? Oh, it had bacon fat in it. Anyway, we'll let that go. Are you a little disappointed at Woodford, Loriander? I get you. I now that I have had this so much more experience, I'd say 15 years ago though, I was like, Woodford Reserve, based on the price, where it held its place on a shelf, and the shape of the bottle. Because let's be honest, like this is a delicious whiskey. And John, you said it, like just like Ryan Nephew, looks like a cheap ass bottle, right? Even my favorite rye Doesn't Westward or doesn't Woodford just look like way more classy and like a better product?
Woodford's a very the bottle stands out for sure.
Yeah. All right, you ready to move on to the next one now that we got that bright, nutty astringentness to it? I'm pretty impressed that they're all above 80 proof though. That's helping with like not having like remember last time with the rise we dropped down, we had 280 proofs, we had 300 proofs. Kind of changes the complexities, makes it a little bit harder. So this is Henry McKenna. Fuck me if it is. Well, we'll see. Based on the nose, John, you got anything to say first before
I really like the nose on the Woodford. That was so complex, especially compared to the first one. This one, more simple on the nose. Let's see how it tastes.
It's sweet and simple, yeah. On the nose.
Oh, that is really nice to drink.
It's one of the most well-balanced bourbons for me.
I'm gonna go back to. I gotta test the Buffalo Trace.
I'm glad that we built on it. It's got a great spice level. In fact, I was just second guessing that it needed to go in front of the Woodford, but it does not at all. Like a great sweetness to begin with. I love my exhale. What do you got?
Yeah. I don't. It's like balanced to me in a way that I can't necessarily like. It's not forward. It's like so easy to drink.
Especially for 100 proof, right? It's not the darkest. Yeah. And not necessarily the richest, but it's really clean. Really clean. Yeah, I'm such a fan. And I get just a little bit of like black pepper or maybe white pepper. And like allspice maybe with the caramel on my lips. Like there's a different complexity to it. Yeah. It's interesting, John, especially compared to the Woodford. This one has a little bit more dryness still. And again, it's 6% higher than the Buffalo Trace or 5% higher than the Buffalo Trace, but it's, there's a distinct like spice level and warmth that isn't just, a reaction of the alcohol, the higher alcohol level on it. I'm gonna grab some water. Thanks for reminding me to hydrate.
You know, it's illegal for us to accept tips via Twitch. We can't accept tips to tell us to take a shot, but we could, if we could accept tips, we could set up a system to have people tip us to remind us to hydrate.
Oh, that'd be great. Drink. Yeah, right. It'd be water. It's water. As we're like knocking down all the bottles. Do you see now why I like? Did you try this before the stream? By the way, did you have a little nip? Oh
no, it's fantastic though.
Do you? Yeah, different than the other one.
I'm gonna seek this out as like my bourbon that I don't put on my shelf, you know, for when special guests come over. Yeah,
that's how it is. It's normally right here on the top shelf. Again, I've had this bottle for like 3 years now, and it's the first time. Yeah, I just opened it for the stream for all of us to have. I like Loriander with. You're right about the Old Forester Loriander, but also like Loriander said with the Eagle Rare, that was his choice to not want to leave off. This was my choice to not want to leave off. It's too important to me to like, and kind of unknown and yet also hard to get and well known. I feel like not many people know about it, know what it is as opposed to Eagle Rare. You know, I can mention Eagle Rare and a lot of people perk up. And Henry McKenna I can keep talking about and nobody knows shit. You ready to move on to what might be a bit more, bit of a walk up
Yeah,
for
we're,
flavor?
we're going hotter next, right?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, to be
At least
honest,
proof wise.
this one's only proof wise only one per like it's only 101 proof, and Henry McKenna's
Oh,
100
oh,
proof.
so, sorry, I missed that
Yeah,
about
we're
Henry
not
McKenna. So it's only 1% hotter.
1%
Why
hotter.
do you think it's going to be more, or should I just taste it for
Um,
myself and find out?
I think it's going to be more because I don't think it's going to be as refined, and I think there's going to be a little bit more like roughness that's going to add to more character. Though this is,
Mm.
you know how Deadshot has the Deadshot, right? We have to have like, for our bartender thirsty therapy handshake. I'm pretty sure it's this wild turkey mentha like combo that I've made that is
Oh,
just served straight,
mm.
right in the glass and no chilling or no anything, and it just goes down so smooth and so rich. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Do you have mentha? You got to try this one, by the way. I know you haven't got a chance to try it yet.
I don't have mentha. Maybe I could just make a Ferrari cocktail and pair the two. Is that close enough to Fernet mentha?
Nah, this one's a whole different experience. I'll make it for you. I'll make it.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right,
so
cheers.
wild turkey.
Wild turkey. Free. Me too. We're cheaters. John's.
Oh yeah,
John's
yeah. That is different than everything we've had up to this point.
Mm-hmm. Pretty bold. Rich. I mean, it's bold. It's rich. 100,
Yeah.
more than 100 proof, so it holds up as far as like really well shaken drinks. Not as hot. No. Can I say what's not been on one flavor wheel yet, John?
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about Band-Aids though. You and I got nerded out about fucking Band-Aids earlier being on the flavor wheel for scotches.
I'm pretty sure that's a tasting note that's appeared on the show before, and definitely among my friends that I introduced to mezcal or even sometimes even a Negroni. And I'm like, why are you serving me Band-Aids?
Wow, really? And a Negroni too? Okay. I don't get that, but okay. So here's another one like the Band-Aids for Negroni. I've said this, and maybe you'll remember or not. Bourbons and whiskeys especially, some have a brown paper bag quality in their flavor. It's an exhale, it's a finish. It's actually, yeah, like the same thing, yeah. And it has, so I will say we mentioned Old Crow earlier, which is a bourbon, and that is 100% why I don't have that in any bar program I've ever worked in. And it is supposed to be known as like a standard, but that's all I taste is like, you know how do you taste that on this one, John?
I'm sorry, which one?
On this wild turkey? The brown paper bag. Honestly,
you're saying Old Crow is famous for that?
I think Old Crow's last filtration was through old shopping bags. From old fucking Albertsons shopping bags. That's what Old Crow tastes like to me.
No, this is like Whole Foods paper bags.
Right. Thank you. Exactly. This is all of a sudden like this is an organically grown. Yes. Yeah. I'm not a crazy. Yeah, exactly. It does. It has that just on your exhale, and this one keeps it very limited for the price point.
Right.
Really, really limited. It's the same price as Old Crow, I think, or just about.
Yeah, you got me scared initially that you said that it was going to be rougher, and I get what you mean. It is like less refined, but it's still quite drinkable.
Yeah,
organic paper bag cardboard.
Right. This is bamboo paper bags. Good call, Lucifer. With a Danish bourbon I mentioned in the past. Oh, I do. Do we still have it written down? Will you put it up one more time so we can take a picture of Loriander? Would you please put that bourbon up one more time? I do remember us having a great, distinct conversation about that. Yeah, and because of the salty and spiciness, I was like, I've got to know. Yeah, please. Hey, John, mentioning salty and spiciness, by the way, can I tell you, this shit over here, the mellow corn's got me on I have a all corn cocktail now that I'm like.
Oh, what do you put it in, or is that a secret?
No, I don't think it needs to be because it's not like finished yet, but it's going to be mellow corn. I'm going to make a panela syrup, but the panela syrup is going to be made out of the water that I boil corn cobs in.
Okay.
Right?
It's like are you doing an old fashioned with the?
We're going to call it. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, maybe. It's going to need something. It's going to need some salt and pepper. No shit. I'm not fucking around. It really does need salt and pepper. And that was here before. So it's going to have a black pepper tincture, 100%. And I don't know how I'm going to get a little bit of salt in there. Possibly, it could have just a dab of mezcal, possibly too, if I needed that for like that. But yeah, I think that for sure it's going to have to. We're going to call it high as an elephant's eye.
That's pretty high.
Right? Isn't that how high corn's supposed to get before you cut it down? By July, as high as an elephant's eye? That's an old ag joke, John. I'd be hitting hot at the 4-H right now.
So you're not talking about that one time in college, okay?
Yeah.
High as an elephant's eye.
Last night? What? All right, Bree, will you snap it? Here, man. Oh, you don't? You can just screenshot it? Fucking technology, y'all. I don't even know. I just pour the drinks. Speaking of, anybody ready? Loriander, thank you for that. We are going to see what we can try and find. I can post the link. Yes, please. Are you at work, by the way, tonight? It's very nice. We're talking to you a bunch. Oh, shit, 4-H! Thank you, Targ. Somebody knew what I was talking about. Feeling me. My rural folks know. All right. Loriander, you're the shit. Everybody check this out. Maybe we can all do it on one of the streams. We can all, if we can all get our hands on this, this bourbon whiskey. John, I think, well, we've already said that we need to have just a plain whiskey night, right?
Yeah, we've done rye, we've done bourbon. At some point in the future, we just got to do whiskey.
Yeah.
All whiskey's welcome.
All whiskey's welcome. We might have to stretch that into a couple streams. Or take suggestions from everybody too.
Yeah.
Targ, I got you. All right. Last but not least, Elijah Craig. Man, I hope I didn't shit the bed on this one. Let's see if it's got the spice level that we're. Watch, it's like right back, supposed to be down here next to Buffalo Trace.
Ooh. What's that on the nose?
Hot nose, cinnamon. I got caramel and cinnamon, and yeah. It's only 94 proof, so technically it's right with the. No, I'm happy with that one being there. Yeah, thanks. Honestly, I think the Henry McKenna could have gone right. Well, sorry, I'm gonna stop because I forgot we get to resort right now. Tarts, you are rocking all 5 of these bourbons as well. Do you want to make a suggestion to us on your lineup first before we go ahead and dive into what my over opinionated? Yeah. Now you know why I like it. Like you will taste this no matter what in your sours. Like I want to taste whiskey. I'm not having a sour for the lemon. Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah.
That was the plan, at least. John, what do you think?
Yeah, again, surprising, probably the price difference, the rarity between this and the Henry McKenna. It's great, very sippable.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. It's a very easy to have in your bar at all times. It's kind of given. Ooh, that spice hit me in my nose, like right back here. I'm either going to sneeze
Mm-hmm.
or have to blow.
I can't stop with that one. So I think that you're like it's the most like after tingle one I've had.
You know what's funny? I love that you just said that because I'm straight up like I almost just said Szechuan peppercorn right before you started talking. I was like, I get this Szechuan peppercorn tingle to me. If you had a little bit though, you know what I mean? It's especially the dryness that goes across your tongue.
Yeah, definitely baking spice on the finish. You said cinnamon on the nose. I'm getting something else. Something nice and sweet. Could it be corn?
Right. Yeah.
It's made from a lot of corn.
Oh.
Think of all
Which
these
is why-
tasting notes we've given. We haven't mentioned corn yet.
Right. That is true. It doesn't come through really heavily in a lot of things though when you taste it.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, we get the sweetness from all things. We haven't mentioned wheat either, or we might have mentioned wheat, but we haven't like tasted anything with like a heavy wheat corn blend, which also oddly enough, makes like a creamier, smoother finish. Well, softens it a little bit. I used to play at the Elks Lodge. Different than Deer Lodge, I know, but sorry.
So Billy Tartarts was asking about what's the criteria for the lineup. I think Loriander called it mildest to strongest. Is that roughly the criteria?
I think that's what we were kind of trying to look at is what didn't blow. Yeah, essentially, what didn't destroy our palates too much more. What was a nice lineup from the mildest to the most robust.
Yeah.
And
The one that's going to make it difficult to go backwards just a little bit. That you have to save for the end. I feel like the Woodford may have been out of. Well, I shouldn't influence Tartarts' vote, but
I know if Tartarts is up for the challenge.
Right,
I didn't want to like put a right. They're having a hot moment about Deer Lodge.
Okay.
Let's
I'll just come out and say it then. I think Woodford could have been reordered. It was much punchier than I expected for the second bourbon.
I stopped myself from making that very change.
Wait,
Woodford.
It was.
Yeah. Well, wait. Should we wait for Tartarts? Tartarts?
I'm just saying. Second in position. It was too early.
Is off. Right. I 100% agree. 100%. Do you not agree? Do you have any feedback on that?
I like the order. The way it was.
I want to change your order too a little.
What were you switch?
I do Tartarts. Nah, don't wait for me. All right, we're going for it. Woodford is a bit more rough for that price. Yeah, I agree with you, Loriander. I think I'm gonna go. Definitely, these two need to go next to one another. This is like the more refined big brother of Buffalo Trace.
Which one did you last?
Elijah Craig last.
I think that should have been last.
It is last. You think that's staying last? That's your opinion?
What was the second one?
Woodford.
Yeah, so I feel like
You want your Woodford second to last? I considered it.
I like that reordering.
So where are you at, John? You like the reordering of having, you like it this way?
Uh, no. I like what you had.
Or this way?
Yeah.
I
I enjoyed the wild turkey kind of pop at the end. It was different from the rest without blowing up your palate.
Right. Bree, let me and Lori and or Tarts, let me like position the question a little bit for you, like rephrase the question a little bit more. Is as they build in complexity, do you feel like you could appreciate the others that came after it, after you had that? And so for me, like this one, the Woodford, while it was a little bit bolder and had that really cool oakiness to it, it also had that dry, astringent finish, which wasn't necessarily bad if that's exactly. It all depends on what I need it for. So I can always, but I don't think that if I had this first, I would appreciate that bright oakiness next. So that's how I like that. Maybe I didn't. Does that come across in the way I explained it to you too, John? Or no? Did I explain it wrong? Is there a better way to explain what I just?
Well, I know. I think there is no simple answer here. I think we're optimizing for a lot of different things.
That's a good point. Really good point. I'm going back to the Woodford now that we're talking about it.
It's like we have that the wheel that we shared. What?
Finish. Go ahead. Finish. I'll keep it. I got it stuck. I'm gonna use my friend Lynette's trick and cross my fingers so I don't forget.
I mean, I don't have an answer here. It just seems like we're optimizing for a lot of things on various flavor axes. You know, light to dark, simple to complex, mild to spicy, and it's not going to be a linear, an obvious path through them. One thing's going to have a little bit more of, walnut dryness, and then the next thing is going to make up for that in heat, in mouthfeel even.
I agree with you on that.
So it's hard to say there's an obvious like mildest to strongest here.
But I think there is I think like a graph. There is like a trend. You know what I mean? We're trending up in ways,
yes,
if you will.
Yes, we are. But yes, absolutely. It's bouncing a lot. It's like a 4-dimensional graph.
Right.
Let alone a two-dimensional or 3-dimensional one.
All building up, but kind of jagging and going all over the place. So what I got so excited about was this. Like, I just had this idea that this would be a great format, I think, for one of our shows. Oriander, Tarts, Lucif, tell us what you think about this idea. But what happens if we were to take and the three of us that are doing the tasting on the show, and if we could do it for everybody in real time, for our other guests to be able to do, that would be great. But at least the three of us not be able to tell the other two what we picked, and all of us like highlight the flavor wheel of what flavors we were enjoying separately, and then all shared them at once to see what things we. I don't know how we do it. We'd have to practice like so that it wasn't like a lot of dead air for everybody watching. You know what I mean? Like have a
you
fucking
might have to
dance
taste
going.
offline. Come prepared.
Yeah, something.
Come prepared with notes.
Yeah.
Zoe doing what?
The flutophone. What was the one thing that for a while the fucking Lucif, what the hell is that thing again? Looks like it's sperm that screams. Tomatone, screaming sperm, your kids play. Sounds like you're killing it every time. It's a musical instrument, John. I'm sorry. I should clue you into that part of it.
Oh no, I didn't know. Oh, great. She's learning music.
Right.
Great.
That's awesome. Good answer. Great answer. Hey, how cute isn't that?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
for a hot minute. Billy and I watched YouTube videos, and that's what happened in our house.
I made him listen to it for like, I made him listen to music from it for like 45 minutes. So finally he was like, yeah, I don't want to hear anymore. I was like, okay, yeah, me neither. I've had enough too. Let's not buy that. That
That's what we almost got.
would have been the one. We're just assholes. It's okay. I'm really fine. I'm really fine with it. Hey, I have to say, one of a big observation of mine has to be the nose on the Woodford. Has a very sweet marshmallowy, like not even necessarily caramely nose to it. What? You moved him around? I breathe him in. Good. Say goodnight, everybody. Good night, everybody. But it doesn't match it with the flavor, right? Like the nose on it is so much
Right.
sweeter than it comes up. And then
Right.
as soon as you switch to hey John, speaking for Loriander, is that Old Forester right there?
Oh,
It looks like you
Oh,
actually
what-
brought Old Forester to the game.
what's this bottle we have here? So Billy and I shared the bottles. We just bought one bottle of everything, and so he shows the bottle on his nice camera.
That is awesome.
So I have to use different bottles on my end. What do I got here?
You got Woodford Reserve. That
Yeah,
is
this
fucking
is a
brilliant.
bottle of Woodford Reserve right here. You like my handiwork there?
Dude, that's awesome.
Clearly Woodford Reserve. This is
Obviously,
the unique shape that you have there.
clearly, that is fucking great. Way to upcycle.
Yeah, yeah. Loriander called out. This is a bottle of Old Forester, 100 proof. Called out that one earlier on stream. I finished that, and I needed a place to put my Woodford. So there's that.
That was great. You're so smart. I fucking love it.
Our graphic design is just off the charts on this show.
The idea that you saw the Woodford in the Old Forester is like, you must be awesome at Scrabble. I'm garbage at that game.
Well, did you notice that there's a?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be on
She's so
your
mad at
Scrabble
me
team.
for it. I'm like, does that have a Z in it?
Did you like that I ran out of room on the last letter? But
Yeah, verb.
you could reserve. Well, you could. The E is
You
silent.
still
You
get
can-
it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey! Hi, Judy. Nice to see you. Happy birthday, Uncle Steve. It's not Judy's birthday. It's Steve's birthday. Ah, they are. Looks like a ransom note. It does kind of look like a ransom note. No shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. From the smartest kidnapper ever. Right? The rest of us had to cut a lot of fucking magazines. John just made it happen. He figured it out. Dude, hey, can I just say that I what went through my brain, but I knew it would be technically illegal, but all that went through my brain, Alex, was like, what if we had a bar with every fucking bottle that was like that? And every bottle was a bottle of something else that John had figured out how to fucking erase just 6 letters and put 4 more letters to create the other thing. You know what I mean? Dickel would be Pikesville. Elijah Craig would be, I have no idea what. Because again, that's not my bag, baby. I just drink the drinks. Yeah, but no, I don't think I'd be. He sees all the letters. I just am like, is that elephant? There's 2 E's. Oh, it's electric. My bad. But you know what? I make the alcohol taste tasty. Old Granddad. Loriander, I haven't had Old Granddad in at least 6 years. We should get a bottle of that, John. I know I can get it. I saw it. Actually, I just saw it this weekend. So, Loriander, one more, add that to the next list. One more cheap bourbon that we can try. You're just loading us up with these cheap bourbons. No, I'm excited to try all of them and be able to kind of pick out. I feel like we need to do Old Crow now, John, so we can really talk about brown paper baggedness. And I want that added to a fucking wheel.
So we've had rye night, we've had bourbon night. We're gonna have paper bag night.
Brown paper bag night. Oh my god,
yeah. It's happening.
I'll be thinking to John when I do. Different John, but yeah.
So, next, one thing we could do is bloom these whiskeys, and that would change them. That's just a fun technique to apply to your tastings. I don't know. Do we have time though? Maybe we should move on to a cocktail.
I don't think we do. I just realized. I love that you did that, because right when you started mentioning that, I looked up and I'm like, oh, 7:22. We don't want to get to where we were last week, and we were like, oh, we have 20 minutes to make 2 cocktails. We better hurry.
Yeah. I say let's turn these into a cocktail.
I love it. Let's do it. Do you have any? First, before we go, I definitely want to hear from Targ Tarts and Lucif, because I know they're following along. And Loriander, I know you already have an idea of this, but I'm not sure that you tried all the ones that we tried. Do you have, out of this lineup, do you have what you'd be willing? Let's say all these were the same price, John, at your local bar. What would be the first one that you would go to for your taste tomorrow night? Think of it as a day after bourbon. You know what I mean? You're not really trying to sample bourbons. Just what would be your first choice?
To drink or to mix?
Drink, not to mix.
That's the way I think of it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can have a cube. That's at most you can have a cube. No more than that though. Lucif's got Elijah Craig. All right. How about you, Bree? They were all equal priced. Henry McKenna. This is just the regs, Loriander, not the double oaked. Interested though. If you saw us last week, we did a dark rye, which then we did another double rye that wasn't even. It was interesting how they didn't necessarily, even being double, it wasn't more. So yours is Elijah Craig, then Wild. Ooh, you picked 3. John, you want to? Nice. John, you want to back up then? Since Bree got a backup.
No, I can answer with just one. The Henry McKenna 10-year. I can taste every single thing about it. Not too hot. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think Elijah Craig would probably be my second. And I don't know why that is. Woodford's probably a more refined bourbon on the list. But I'm what was the line that I was working while I was teasing out Bree is I make bold complex cocktails or something like that. I like things that are bold as I like things bold and complex or something like that, and I think that's why I'd rather fall on the Elijah Craig than, with all of them being the same price, fall on the Elijah Craig for my backup. But the Henry McKenna, I'm with you, John. It's just so clean, and yet you get all the flavor that it seems like they want to do, get in there. There's a lot of layers of flavor hidden within that.
Perhaps because it's aged significantly more than all the other ones. The other ones don't carry age statements, I don't think, in our lineup. Henry McKenna's 10-year, and so I think it's matured enough that all the flavors there. It's very accessible. It's mellowed.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right.
It's not rough.
It's not. It's fantastic. All right, so let's get some of these out of the way, and I'll put my lineup back, and I'll leave out Elijah Craig, and what was our other? We're doing. I lost my lineup. We're doing Elijah Craig and
Doing Elijah Craig for the sour and Woodford for our stir drink.
That's right.
Which I have a story about.
I love that story.
Why do I have so many stories about Woodford? What is that?
So John's family is the old Woodfords from back in the day. How funny would that be, huh? Okay.
Come from a long line of bootleg liquor runners.
Woodforders. Is that a thing? All right. So, you know what I just realized? I know. I bet I need you to get up. We grab some ice for us? Yeah, just to shake and to stir. Not bad. You can actually just get the whole container if you want. All right, so we got to start with first and foremost, we're going to do panela syrup for this one, John. And you and I both have like ultra rich panela syrups, right?
Yeah, it's almost like the caramel that dries around a dessert or like a candy apple.
Yeah, it's I think a flan too. Before you get that caramel's like a little bit heavier, and then it like thins out. So the panela is like super rich. So I've even left mine out for the last hour to make sure it gets we can actually measure it out. Everybody grab a shaker. We're gonna do dry shake, wet shake. Bree, do you mind grabbing? You can't even hear me because the ice maker's going. Bree, you mind grabbing me an egg as well? Good reach. So we're going to do a dry shake, wet shake, and we are going to start with our panela syrup, since John and I have such thick panela syrups. So that way they can start diluting right away. If you have aquafaba or you are vegan or vegetarian, we will, if you're vegan or vegetarian, we were going to go ahead and use aquafaba for you. And then Angostura, if anybody has their Ango Art droppers, grab those if you will. Those are going to be like the most fun for you, so we can do some fun Ango Art on the top. They're in that outer. But in the meantime, let's get started with the panela. And we're going to do a half ounce of the panela syrup. So it's going to take us a hot minute just to get it into the jigger, and another hot minute to get it back out.
I think my panela might have gone solid.
Oh my God. Was that in the fridge?
Yeah. Is that my first mistake?
Yeah. I took mine out like 2 hours ago just because I was worried about that part of it.
Okay.
You know what you could do, John?
Yeah.
I would take that beautiful pineapple top off and I would set it in your microwave, since you have a square bottle, and put it in your microwave for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But only put actually 20 seconds on like 80% heat. No, turn it on its side. It's okay. You're going to see it. You're going to watch it. You've got this. It's like the Truman Show. We're watching you do everything.
Now I'm going to set it for too long and I'm going to walk away.
I know. Don't do it.
And multitask.
While you do that, I'm pouring my panela into my shaker. I'm going to take a while to do that, so take your time. Yeah! I'm so glad you like it, Luciff. Yeah, if you want to. That'd be awesome. Bree's going to crack that egg for me. So panela is the first stage. I'm seeing if I had my little bag of panela here. Panela is the first stage. I got it from my buddy Heyman. First stage of sugar extraction from the sugar cane. So it's before it's ever refined. Any of the molasses is pulled out. It is as raw as you can get sugar, essentially, that isn't in the cane. So it's the first heating, essentially, of it. And I might have a container right here so you can see. Well, not off the top. Nope, I guess not. Not right here. But it's a little bit darker than a brown sugar. It's not quite a Demerara either, but a Demerara would work. This one has so much more character, which is why I wanted to use it. Glad you like it.
Demerara would be good too, though. That's my go-to simple syrup. Instead of simple syrup, rather.
Right. And basically, we're both going for complexity and richness that we have. We already have a very complex and rich bourbon, like with the Elijah Craig that we talked about. We're adding bright, bold flavors with lemon. And then we might as well have some bold flavors with our sugar as well, our sweetener. Because then we're going to tamper down those flavors when we have our egg white.
Shoot.
All right, so John's got that in.
This is like freezing as it's pouring out. Like, is this gonna muck up the cocktail? Like, is it gonna get stuck in the ice?
It might. I don't know how thick you got it, but you know what? I think you're gonna be okay. Just go ahead and we're just gonna keep pouring in, and that's why we're gonna build this way. We're gonna add the lemon next, and we're gonna build slowly with more and more liquid before we start adding. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get into the loop. I want you to keep an eye on it, and if it isn't quite breaking up right, you're just going to use your spoon and kind of give it a stir first before we do the shaking. Oh, John, one more thing.
Yes.
Do you have your blender ball?
I do have a blender ball.
Lucif, grab your blender ball. Tart, grab your blender ball. Anybody else who has a blender ball for me, grab it right now so that you can use that. That's going to help you break up this panela syrup even better. It's going to save your arm for doing this wet shake, dry shake, so you got a nice whip. We might as well use technology that's afforded to us, right? That's what we're doing. That's how we're talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that, and I don't know where all mine are, but... I'll shake it out. But if I had it, I'd be using it too. It's just smart. Okay, next up, let's go with our lemon juice. I got my beaker.
Nice.
We're gonna go 0.75 lemon juice.
This lemon is too large.
Oh man, that's where Tate is right now. If Tate would have heard that, he would have said that's what she said, because that's his new favorite joke. That is a new fancy, that is beautifully chrome or stainless steel squeezer you have there, sir. Very nice.
It's an okay squeezer.
Yeah, I'm with you with the dates. Oh no, I didn't see that. Got a slide, sexy slide. Next up, let's grab our bourbon. We've already got our sugar, we've got our lemon. We're not going to throw the egg whites in until right at the end. We don't want those to start cooking yet. And the acid from the lemon juice will definitely start making that happen right away. I'm also going to be using the smaller side of my jigger because I want to continue getting any little bit of lemon juice or syrup that I have in there out of it. So build. Nope, Ango's going on top. That's going to be the last one. Remember to hit your meniscus. Oh! Another, that's what she said. That's where Bree's at right now, y'all. Hitting the meniscus. Is that what Deuce Bigelow? What we got him his job? I'm hitting the meniscus. Thirsty therapy. Hit the meniscus.
We go on our swag.
Hell yeah. Bree's in charge of our online merchandising. She's gonna help. She's gonna help with some fine folks. All right, so I'm gonna start adding the egg white as we go. Pre-separate it from the shell for me. I am holding it back.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
That's okay.
I was like, I'm putting it on my thing.
I'm holding it back from the yolk, but the yolk cracked just a little bit. So you can actually, like, I don't know if anybody saw me finesse that off there, but you can kind of work a good amount of your white off. There's probably going to be, on most eggs that size, there's going to be about an ounce of egg white on there. I got 3/4 of that out, and I've just got a little bit of yolk with a little bit of white left. And I was able to, like, kind of maneuver it off of the yolk, even though the yolk was close. So don't give up. Don't throw out your shit. Don't give up. Hang in there. Brush your teeth. Don't do drugs. Sorry. That was supposed to be part of Mr. T, not G.I. Joe. Dance the real American hero. All right, everybody. You got your blender balls. Throw them in. Start shaking. I'm going to start shaking because I don't have a blender ball. That's why I already started. I need to make this shit happen. I'm going to have noodle arms by the time we're done. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's fluffing. Wait, hold on. There's no EDMR with sync going on. AMSR, sorry. ASMR? There we go. Hold on.
ASMR.
Ready, John? Okay, John, ready? Be quiet. Here we go. Did you hear anything, John? Did you hear the fluff? He's like, was it like an angel's wings beating? Because that's what I think of every time I think of egg whites whipping up in a cocktail. All right, you should have a good seal by now. Everybody give it a pop. The reason we're hitting our can on the sides is not because we like spanking. It's because we need to crack the seal and open it up. They tend to be airtight once you start really fluffing them up. And you're gonna add, the same thing's gonna happen again when we add our ice and drop the temperature down. Nope, John's blender ball. That's his blender ball, I can tell. It's a different kind. So John's getting a figure 8 from his blender ball right now. And blender ball is doing this. And it's giving
I really have to work with syrup. I don't.
Take a look. So here, John, give it a crack. Stop what you're doing. Give it a crack, but crack it into the bigger end and look at the smaller end. See what's stuck on your
yeah, all the syrup.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shit.
But you know what? I could just go back to Demerara syrup. I have that.
Make it happen. It's more important that you're getting a tasty drink in your... Hey, you are worthy of good drinks. Don't forget it.
Sorry, Panella.
That's all right.
I'll put you into a baked good or something.
Put it... It's there you go. It's a glaze. It's a glaze. It can glaze your ham. You got a ham coming up in your future? Hell yeah, I bet it would be delicious on a ham. Lucius already said it tastes like dates, so I like dates on ham, like that kind of. I've had a ham on a lot of dates. What? Oh. It's okay. His whole life is alive. You don't really like ham. Now John's gone. Who knows what's going to happen? Everybody else out there okay? Feeling all right? I'm here for you. All right. While John gets that ready, I'm going to switch over to... Actually, John, are you okay if I start doing ice? How far off are you?
I'm good. I'll catch up.
He's got a pour spout. He's ready to go. All right. Shit. This isn't going to take him long. All right. I'm going to add my ice for everybody else out there who's where I'm at. Get one more nice heavy seal. So, again, my can's just to the side, my 2 tins, and I give it a nice pop straight down. Kind of gives it this oblong shape, but it's sealed. Won't spray the back bar. We don't want to hit the glass. Get it a nice shape. Remember, we're going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down as we go back and forth. Forgot to get my glassware ready, silly Billy. Crack your can again. Let yourself get a good grip. Let it just hang out there for a minute. I actually don't have my Ango art right now, so I'm going to do something a little different. While John does that shaky shaky. Let's see. Well, I'm going to use my fork. All right. We're going to get a good double strain. Look at that beautiful ribbon. Decent amount of fluff. We're going to let that settle. That is disappointing for me. John, I hope you got better fluff. Ooh. That is sad. What did I forget? It's all right. Wait, it happened. It's so creamy. Uh-oh. John's hands froze. John froze too. He's frozen. He what? Oh, he's not? Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay. Nice ribbon, sir. Good thing I got the backup.
I didn't get any foam on mine either.
What? Can I tell you one? Can I tell you one trick about this though? I will say this. I have to say.
What's up?
And this could have happened with aquafaba too, but I feel like it happens less with aquafaba. It has to do with the amount of the proof of alcohol, John. So the lower proof, the more whipped you can get out of your egg whites. The higher proof, the harder it gets slowly and slowly. You still get the creaminess, you don't get that separation of actual aerated foam on top. It's something a lot of other bartenders have noticed. I'm not the first one to. And we've talked about it. And it's one of those, like, especially 101, like Wild Turkey 101 wouldn't be my first choice. But I feel like I've gotten better with Elijah Craig before, but look at 94%. Maybe that just means we needed to shake it for another good, like, 2.5 minutes. Wouldn't have been good for TV, though. Are you ready? We got to get some Ango on here. And I'm going to do a quick Ango art. Even though I have barely any foam, I'm going to still go across. You have a dasher. Do you still have your dropper too, John?
Yeah, dropper.
You guys can do a dropper, and then go ahead and do a pull right through your dropper with something sharp, a skewer or a I know I can't either, or a toothpick works great. Even if you have a fork side of one of your bar spoons. John, if you don't have your Ango art, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. What we can do is we're going to do another style of Ango art where we're going to do dashes across the top. Mine are going to be super heavy, so I'm only going to do 2. You're going to want to do more than that. But you can do racing stripes straight across. You can do, I like going crisscross here. Again, not having a lot of foam, it doesn't sit and it isn't a distinctive pattern. But it's still going to give you 2 things. You want a little bit of that spice complexity that you're getting from the bitters. And secondly, you want a little bit of that on the nose as well. And here is my guest perception thing. This is my job to manage your perceptions. So with that being said, I always have to make sure too, I don't know if you've ever smelled egg whites before, but it is not awesome. I don't like go hitting on people to smell their egg whitiness. It's not. It isn't necessarily inviting, um, and it's so easy to add a little bit of bitters to that to change up the aroma and change up the flavor perception for your olfactory glands. That's what we do. So why should we stop when it comes to something like this, right? John, did you get a couple good dashes across yours?
No, I was waiting to see how you do it.
I am gonna just drag it. So I'm gonna go up like this. I'm going ahead and stopping my stopper, but I swing straight up and I drag across. I swing up again, I drag across again. Judy, recipe for vanilla syrup, Judy. Oh, panela for the panela syrup.
Is it 1-to-1?
It's a 3-to-1 for the one that I did today. I would suggest a 2-to-1. I would suggest to do a 2-to-1, and make sure that you actually bring it up to temperature in a pan. Actually, because John, you and I can add like boiling water to sugar to make a quick, simple syrup. But when it comes to panela, because it hasn't been refined at all, it has like different clarity, I'll say, um, that that isn't released, like the oils and everything it doesn't get smooth enough without coming up to a little bit of heat. So make sure you bring it up to heat, but then cut it off right away as soon as you get a good opaqueness through everything. But yeah, 3-to-1 or 2-to-1, like I said, make it a little easier on yourself. And then that way, if it boils and does bubble for a little bit longer than it should, you're not getting caramel like where John's at right now. Right, John? It happens.
Yeah, I think I let it cook too long. Do not cook it. Just warm it to combine.
Right. Isn't that funny? There's that like perfect little trick right there. There's that like it starts bubbling right on the edges. It's enough for you to like dissipate the boiling by stirring it, but then a little too much further than that, toast. A little too much under it, doesn't cook it enough.
All right. I've smeared some Angostura on top of my non-foam.
I know, right?
And let's
Me
not
too.
zoom in on that.
Let's shove it in our face.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. As long as it tastes right.
Yeah.
Wait, bring it back.
Yeah, it's nice. It's creamy. I'd go a little more tart.
It could go a little more tart. That panela got it way sweeter than I expected it to.
Right. I probably had a little bit of panela that was, ended in mine, even though most of it was stuck to the bottom of the tin.
Right.
Yeah.
We could have gone up to a whole nother, even with ½ ounce, we could have gone up to 1 ounce of lemon.
Right.
Might have got us there.
Right.
A little bit sharper. Could have helped with our foamage too.
But I don't know. I like
the alcohol content.
I just in general like tart. Maybe this is a fine intro whiskey sour.
It's a intro for sure. I know, right? Are you happy? Your socks aren't knocked off, but it's a decent one though, right?
Yeah, I'll drink it.
For you on try?
What happened
No.
here?
Nothing. Just getting crazy with the cheese whiz.
Speaking of,
Hey, nice job. Good thing it's leather. Bree spilling stuff on our station. What do you think?
it's alright.
Needs more lemon.
I don't love it.
Yeah. It's falling short. It's tasting like Buffalo Trace. Just kidding. It's not.
What happened with the foam? I swear I've done 100 whiskey sours at home. One of my favorite classic cocktails. And
You always use Elijah Craig too, don't you?
no, that's true. That's variable, but something like it.
Something similar, yeah.
Evan Williams bonded, Old Forester bonded.
Vanilla didn't
I wonder if it is a panela. I think it's the refined, unrefined sugar.
Yeah.
I will say that I used to for sours was always used to be honey, and honey gives you an amazing amount of foam even by itself.
Oh yeah, honey syrup.
Mm-hmm. A honey syrup.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah, the
if
honey is
that. I
another one
wonder.
where just like straight out of the bottle, it will stick to the ice. It won't shake well. So you need
Right.
to dilute it with some syrup. Or some water,
Some
rather.
water. Right. We do that one as a rich one, too, or super rich. Right.
Okay, so tart tarts, you made the vanilla syrup correctly,
Tart tarts.
and you probably got the foam.
Yeah. Did you get any foam tart tarts? Are we just shitting the bed on this one?
How did we both mess it up?
Just skill, I guess. Really, that's talent.
It's like people having a group hallucination, you know. Matt, like we had like a mass. Um, what, what's that superhero what's the member of the X-Men that can steal other people's powers? It's like all our powers got collectively absorbed.
Oh, it is not Mystique.
No, Mystique. What's her name? It's like the girl lady.
Oh,
it's Rogue. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rogue.
She
Yeah.
she simultaneously took all our powers of making
Right.
an egg white drink.
A cocktail. I thought you were talking about. I honestly didn't think you were thinking of Rogue. I thought Bree was referring to in the latest. What's the new? Yeah. In the new Marvel universe or whatever, the last few years, they haven't really delved into Rogue, but they focused a lot more on
Rebecca Romaine.
yeah, Rebecca Romaine's characters, who's
Well, that's Mystique.
that's Mystique. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought you were thinking of. But that's why I said it definitely wasn't Mystique. She can just look like people, sound like people. I don't think she gets their powers, does she? I thought that was just Rogue.
Dark Tart says we should make 4 drinks tonight.
I don't think I'm ever drinking. I don't think I'm gonna have egg whites for a while.
Breeze off egg whites.
Brain automatically associates it with the eggs.
I love you right now, Tart Tarts. I'm kind of with you, but I also don't have a fucking blender ball, and I want to fight someone here. Come here. I'm getting off again. Come here. Give it to me. Sorry.
So, you all come here often? Oh, that would be amazing.
Don't let the fucking dog out again. Woo!
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry. They were locked. The dog was locked out, and the dog was locked in, and the dog was scratching, and then we got it figured out, everybody. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Hey, Johnny America, what's your favorite bourbon drink?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, a whiskey sour.
Except for this one.
Except this one. Mm.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah, I love whiskey sour. That was my anytime drink prior to the daiquiri. Whiskey and lemon, it's made in heaven. Rum and lime, feeling fine.
Huh, okay. Were you a egg white or a not egg white? Because you don't have to do one or the other.
Oh yeah, I wanted to discuss that. The egg white is optional here. I was trying to remember how that changed the drink. Oh, I love egg white. Yeah, I'm a texture guy in food and drink. Makes for a really fun drink.
Yes, normally it does.
Yeah, yeah, normally, yeah.
Right.
On the other hand,
Yeah,
my
completely
anytime drink.
different, distinct. Sorry, please.
On the other hand, my anytime drink now, the daiquiri, which I just find so infinitely remixable, does not have egg white. They're both good drinks.
Doesn't really need it, right? Now, I have to then mention in the New York sour, since we're going to be talking about that right, as well. Like that, I'm so glad, especially for Bree's sake, that we didn't add red wine to this particular whiskey sour.
Ugh.
Because
the New York sour is a good drink.
Mhm. I'm a fan. I actually really
Would
like
not
it.
have done that here.
Right. I like it without egg whites, though.
Okay. You just omit
Specifically.
the egg white entirely. Yeah,
I
that's
think
probably
that
safer.
I think that the yeast and everything that happens with the fermentation of the wine tends to mix with the egg in such a weird way that you get this very like cheesy flavor on the top, and I feel like it takes away from the whiskey and all the other flavors that you're working with there. Egg white to other sours, egg white daiquiris, egg white margaritas, egg white everything. Breeze
For
down.
science.
Hey, what was it that we were fucking with that we had so much fun? Oh, dude, how about yeah, nice job, Lucif. I'm a fan. Bree's a fan of Aquafaba too. If you can't hear her bitching and moaning over here about how much she hates the egg white. Also very little foam. Thank you for that. Fuck.
It's gonna be the
Fuck our science. Well, you know what? This is going to be something for John and I to dive into, and maybe we can update you on the next stream of what it was that, like, what our research told us was the reason. What do you think, John? That our foam was dissipated. Swap the syrup, and we should swap the whiskey. We can try them all again. Yeah, I 100%
Change
agree.
one
We're gonna
variable
do science, one
for
variable
science.
at a time. But before we move on to the next drink, I can't get over the idea that we were as Tarts was alluding to so many things being approachable with egg whites or aquafaba. We had so much fun making that fucking daiquiri. I just thought of like that, or not the daiquiri, the Negroni. That just hit me. That shaken
The
Negroni.
shaken
That was
Negroni.
that was actually one that I like really enjoyed the flavor of. All the flavors of that drink. I didn't miss out on anything. And like this one, it didn't. For ours, we didn't get the right foam, so it didn't distinctly give us layers of flavor. So it almost homogenized everything. If you
Yeah.
do you agree with me?
That's what happened on my end too.
It even looks like it, right?
Yeah, a whiskey sour to me tends to look like bright yellow with the white foam on top, and this just looked brown.
This looks, yeah, it looks as khaki as it tastes. Hi. What? It tastes like khaki. It tastes like the color brown.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Moving
Shall we
on.
wash this? Shall we wash this out of our mouth?
Let's wash this out of our mouth. Bree's ready for Manhattan. She likes those. She just told me. She wanted me to make sure I remembered.
Now, last stream we did a black Manhattan, which is a variation on the classic Manhattan, and this is yet another very particular variation on the classic. It's pretty close to classic specs, but it specifically calls for these three ingredients.
And why does it call specifically for these three ingredients, sir? Who would come up with such a fantastic idea of a Manhattan?
This is my other story. This is my other story about the Woodford Reserve. So Manhattan stands out in my mind. My dad's favorite drink. I like it too. I was sitting at a bar. I was at the Hewing Hotel in Minneapolis for work, and probably just checking my phone, thinking to myself, probably drinking the daiquiri, and a guest at the hotel pushes through the bar was getting busy, pushes through the line to reach his hand onto the counter of the bar there and speak to the bartender and say, "Hey, you got to tell me how you made that Manhattan. I'm just having one at my table, and I love Manhattans, and yours is the best Manhattan I've ever had. How'd you do it? And me, I'm reading on my phone, and I start to pay attention. And the bartender lists off these specs that we have on the screen right now: 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve, 1 ounce Koki, and 2 dashes of, because we're in the Midwest, 2 dashes of this Bitter Cube cherry bark and vanilla bitters, which is made in Madison, Wisconsin. Took a note, found the bitters, made it, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. This is pretty fun, pretty balanced. Slight twist on the classic Manhattan.
Yeah, I would have to agree, especially when we're basing it off of a classic Angostura or Boker's bitters, where you have a good amount of like cinnamon coming through, a little bit more bright notes along with the bittering notes that finish it off. So I like that, especially because we're already getting vanilla, extra vanilla off our Koki for each one.
Right.
And then so we get a little bit extra, and then the sweetness from Amarino. Go ahead, John.
And there's one other direction that I took down from this bartender, was that to stir it until the heat from the bourbon is removed, until you no longer taste the heat of the bourbon. So, in other words, an extra long stir. Can you hear me now?
Give me just a second. And before I answer that question, so poignantly put, I'm going to start building this before he gets our new headphones ready. The first thing we're going to start with is that BDT, right? Koji BDT?
Yes.
Those will get up in just a second. John, I have to switch mine up tonight. I just realized my VDT actually ran out a couple days ago, and I should have.
Oh no!
I know.
No one can hear you.
I don't have anything with enough vanilla, as much vanilla as you're going to have with your VDT. But I'm going to get close. I'm going to use a little Carpano Antica because I have it for a backup. Thank goodness.
That can't be bad. Love Carpano Antica.
Thanks. Go ahead. I can. Say that one more time.
Yeah, use that Carpano. That's going to be lovely.
Nice. It'll get us. Thanks. I appreciate that. That'll get us there. It'll get us close enough.
And the thing maybe you missed when you were changing headphones is the bartender at this bar said an extra long stir. Remove the heat from the bourbon.
Nice. Did he have any way of building it in specifics? Specifically, any way to build it for that same reason?
You mean like the order you added to the glass? No.
Cool. Sweet. All right, well, let's start. Let's start with our vermouth, and we're going to go 1 full ounce of the Koki VDT. Hit that meniscus. There's our shirt. All right. Now, come on, Woodford. Now, I feel like that oak is really going to stand out well now that we talked about it.
And again, we commented on how dry and rough how punchy the Woodford was early in our tasting. But I think with an extra stir, maybe with some blooming, if you were tasting it by itself, Woodford might jump ahead in people's rankings.
Right, might take the lead. Now, John, do you have your bitter cube in a new dasher or the actual dasher?
I don't have the bottle. I have a Separate dasher.
Okay. Let's see. Lucif, you have a small dasher, probably about the size of John's. You're going to want to go as many dashes as he has. I have... so he's probably going to double. Is that right, John? You're going to double up your dashes based on your dasher size?
Correct.
Okay. Lucif, you follow along with John. I have a little bit bigger dasher. I gave you the smaller one. So I'm going to just go 2 quick dashes in each one of these. Make sure that when you're doing it, and I'm going to plug my my bottle, that you're doing a full drop with your bottle. You can go like this. You can kind of dash it in this way. It's going to get in your stirring glass, but it's not necessarily going to be a consistent full amount. So as long as you're consistent with the hand actions that you're doing and the muscle memory that you're working with, it's actually doesn't really matter as much. But that's why we do it this way. You'll see bartenders do it straight like this, because we get a full amount usually from the gravity of the entire bottle. And then if you notice that you get a little bit more in one than the other, then you can kind of half dash it in there if you need to finish it off. All right. Now, we have everything but our Amarena Cherry. John, I kind of have this nerdy little fun thing that I like doing, and you might remember this from last week too, from our Black Manhattan. Would you be down? Would you be down to building these Manhattans the same way? Similarly?
Yeah. Let's make them the same.
Okay, let's grab our cherry out of our Amarena Cherry out of its syrup. Drop it in the bottom of your glass that you're serving it in, and then kind of give your spoon a quick rinse. Get a little bit of that cherry cordial into your stirring jar. Like if you're going for a Manhattan, you've already got sweet vermouth. You already know that you can appreciate those flavors. So don't be afraid of them. Next up, I'm going to put another one in here. Get the same thing. Give my spoon a little rinse. And the reason I do this, John, is so that people aren't, and it's kind of funny, it's like my purest way of Manhattan. Manhattan happens to be my first favorite cocktail as well. It was the first cocktail I'd ever actually made with my grandfather, who used to be a bar owner. I've kind of had this in my blood, oddly enough, for a long, long time. And so with that being said, you can put a skewer with your cherry, and people can like sample it while they're having their Manhattan. But the idea truly for Manhattan is that that's the dessert at the very, very end. It soaks up some of the booze, it soaks up some of the other flavors that you have, and by the time you get down through your drink, you're able to enjoy this extra sweet, pungent finish. So that's why I kind of make you work for it. No cheating and getting your finish right at the beginning. You know, no having dessert before you have dinner. Get to work. All right, John, let's ice it down. Let's get to stirring. Ready? And I'm doing 2 of these because I don't want Bree stealing mine.
Tartar is talking about cherries.
Cherries. Let's talk cherries. Hey, can you talk cherries? Let's talk them. I don't have any, and I love Manhattans. What should I buy for my home bar? This is always going to be my first choice right here. These Italian Kochi Amarena cherries. They're a little more expensive. Well, most Amarena cherries are a little more expensive, but they're hands down my favorite, and they're still worth it. These happen to be a little bit cleaner for me and more consistent. It's a bigger company. I've also used it longer, and so I'm more comfortable with it. I'm sure it doesn't matter out there what you're looking for when it comes to it, but make sure it's an Amarena cherry, not a maraschino. And John, we did say an extra long dilution, correct? Extra long stir?
Yeah, in fact, they recommend giving it a straw taste to say, oh yeah, I don't really taste the heat of the bourbon anymore.
Love it. as I just clunk right through the end right there. Let's see.
In my experience making this at home before,
I don't get a lot of heat almost ever.
it always stirred a lot longer than I expected.
Okay.
How's yours?
I think that
How's your straw
I think I will say for having a decent refined palate, it's kind of broken when it comes to the heat of alcohol. But so it tastes incredibly smooth. The vanilla and the cherry are coming through very, very well. And
Mine's almost there.
yeah, I think
Maybe
I'm
another 30 seconds.
Nice. You get your 30 seconds. I'm gonna get a quick double pour down. And see how I'm pouring it from a height, everybody, and I'm actually stirring up that last little bit of cherry cordial that gets stuck on your cherries. Give it that last little... This is how I like pouring my coffee in the morning as well. It does the job of my spoon before I even get the spoon to it half the time. How's it taste, John?
Yeah. Yes. All right. Remove the heat. There's a little tartness to it, but I don't know. Maybe that's all the bittering agents. Sort of the heat.
There's also the Amarena. These particular Amarena cherries, John, aren't necessarily as syrupy and sugary sweet as some other Amarenas. That is another good point that I like having with these Toshu ones. Is you have a tanginess to the cherry behind it. Or behind the sweetness of the cherry. We all get this one. They're the same. Oh yeah. You don't spill. Yeah. I know this one's talk about the meniscus. What's up, y'all? What?
You said you made it good.
I did. I like that couch.
Ooh.
Oh, Bree's cheating.
Really,
Sorry. You can't see me.
really tied the room together. That couch.
Did. I agree. Thanks, John. I was talking about the couch. Who said it really tied the room together? I forgot Bree can't hear now. She gave me her headphones. That's why we've switched it up, everybody. All right, so John, cheers to everybody. I'm not going to pick mine up because my first sip needs to come off of the top of the bar. I'm not full. I don't know if you can see it. But
Okay.
like, this thing is lifting.
I'll come to you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay, Billy.
The Healing Manhattan, everybody.
On that.
Hey, that bartender, I appreciate what they did. It's a really, really good spice level Manhattan.
I like the spice a lot.
I like how the oak.
Wintery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how the oak pairs with the cinnamon in the cherry bark.
Not surprised that those Sotans got it.
Those Sotans, they know their wintered flavors. Lots of practice.
Yeah, it's nice. Something about the extra long stir and the choice of Woodford. I mean, maybe the Woodford was, it wasn't necessarily like the house preferred spirit, or maybe it's just, affordable and the right price point for the level of class quality that this nice hotel bar wanted to offer.
Right.
So I wonder if, you could do this with a more delicate bourbon, like even Buffalo Trace, the first one that we tried tonight. If you could do that and just stir it for quicker.
Yeah.
And come away with the same effect. But I don't know, maybe there's something lingering in the Woodford Reserve. We noted that it was much more nutty, dry, and maybe that comes through with additional water, the additional dilution that we've done here.
And John, I do have to say with the additional flavor that we're adding with the Koki VDT, I know mine is pared down because I'm using the Carpano, but Koki VDT has so much different depth of sweet and vanilla and like that richness. It doesn't have any dry notes like some other sweet vermouths do.
Right.
So I can see why that one in particular works even better with drier stuff, as opposed to what you just said. us swapping this out for Buffalo Trace, while you wouldn't have to have as long of a stir to get the smoothness level there, you wouldn't have. It would be much sweeter from the onslaught. Like from the initial flavor, it would be so much sweeter.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah,
you.
that's a good point. So while Woodford, might not have been our choice, a popular choice in the tasting earlier in the show, I think what remains here, the Woodford up against the VDT and the vanilla bitters, cherry bark vanilla bitters, which is mostly what I'm tasting, honestly. Maybe it's because we've been tasting whiskey all night, but I'm noticing the sweet vermouth and the bitters.
Yeah, that's what's dominating.
Then the only thing that could stand up to that is Woodford.
Yes. I would like to argue, based on our last stream, that I think, and based on what we're talking about, I think that High West Double Rye would make a delicious Manhattan with these specs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The opener from last time.
Yeah. That we were, remember again, dry, spice level would have came through. Oh, chef kiss. I was letting that shit go at first. Lucif, I was like, if you thought my kids made that bitters, I've failed. I don't know. I got nothing.
What the frick? Again, don't play Scrabble with Billy.
Doesn't that say chef's kids?
No.
Does that say chief's kids? What's that say?
It says chef's kiss, I think.
Kids.
Oh, it does say kids.
I'm not a...
I just read kids.
It says both.
Oh, see? Hey! I read. For the one time I actually did read.
Sorry, I read kids right away.
Holy shit. I'm glad we got that on film. John, I'm glad you were here for that. Tark Tarts?
It's documented forever that you can read.
Forever and never and never and never.
Gosh,
sorry. My bad, John.
What's even funnier is that we were just talking about our kids at the same time, so I got so confused.
It's bourbon night, John.
Happy bourbon night.
Happy bourbon night. So basically, wherever we were, I think that a drier finish whiskey or bourbon.
Yeah, I might remake the same spec with that other rye, the High West Double.
Would you? Are you going to do that tonight?
Ooh, I don't know. I've had a lot to drink tonight.
Okay.
Between the tastings, yeah, and 2 cocktails.
No, 100%. I was smiling because of I'm bourbonite, Lucif's comment. Because aren't we all?
So good.
John, I couldn't agree more with you. A happy bourbon night. Lucif, you're having a happy bourbon night. I love it. I'm so glad you're here with us. But John, would you be willing to film yourself doing this if we're not together? Trying this with the High West and kind of critiquing it.
Drink?
No.
Oh.
He's saying, welcome back. See, it is bourbon night. Glad you're all with us. Oh, I forgot. Bree can't hear. No,
a variation, I think Tartar's meant a variation of whatever drink we make next.
yes. That's what I think, for science. I didn't think it meant tonight. Tarts. John, get ready for a phone call in 5 hours. I'm just kidding. No, but I think that would you be willing to report back to us and all of our viewers that joined us tonight on how far off we are when it comes to the flavors when you try this double rye?
Yeah. Does Woodford Reserve kind of hold the same spot that the High West Double Rye? Even though one's a bourbon, one's a rye,
right.
They hold the same role in a drink. Yeah,
I think that'll be a great argument for the style of a spirit as opposed to the actual like category of a spirit.
Right.
Are you catching?
You know, if I were to make another drink right now, it'd have to be that whiskey sour.
Just to try and fix it. Would you make it with Buffalo Trace?
No. I like the Elijah Craig. Because you're thinking of the proof. No. We have to. For science, I have to make 2 drinks. One with Buffalo Trace and one with Elijah Craig, but instead switching out the syrup. See if it was the syrup that caused the problem, or
right. I'm curious about that Panella now because I got to fucking figure that out. This is gonna have to go on our research for the next little while because we got to figure out. I don't know about you. I'm a big fan of the flavor profile of that Panella. For if we can find it for the right thing.
Do you have any more of it?
I do.
I totally used it up in this batch that I overcooked, I think.
Well, my great friend Heyman at Earthly Gourmet actually sells it. So yeah, but I have more than enough for right now too. So we could play around with it, but like you and I should dive into that, especially for our events and things like that, so we know like that we're giving people the product that we want to give them and know where, because hey, I think that Panella was awesome with the Old Tom Old Fashioned and the actual Old Fashioned. I think it gave a depth and complexity that those particular cocktails.
Well, that's right. You used it at your bartending event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I made it for that. We got a video that we had a hot second of on the last stream because of you ordering the Old Tom Old Fashioned. It said Old Tom Gin, a barrel-aged gin Old Fashioned.
Yes. We drank drinks together in person. There's evidence.
I made you drinks. It was fantastic.
It had been a minute.
Dude, in a hot minute, we're going to be able to be making drinks in the same place. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Maybe not next stream, but maybe the stream after. I should, side by side, I should really bar back this shit.
I think we should do this together, yeah. I think it'd be amazing. Got lots of fucking fun, amazing things coming up. Everybody, thank you so much for your support, and thanks for coming out and hanging out with John and Bree and I again. TT Live is happening, Targ Tarts. Just hold on to your seats, because we got a lot of fun events coming up for 2022 for you. And, yeah, it's gonna be good. We're taking this shit on the road. We're taking this show on the road.
Where are we going?
Well, local. We're gonna stay local mainly, but you never know. John's got boom operating like camera skills suddenly, and like,
yeah,
right? Because of the what do you call it? The gimbal.
I did film all that stuff on the gimbal at the Ransom event. And don't forget, we have a theme song.
We do have a theme song. I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
I forgot.
It's fucking ready. It's awesome. We're gonna clip it up and use it on some of our posts. We're gonna have it for intro and outro and a few other in-betweeners for our streams, right?
You'll hear it soon.
Hold on to your butts, folks. John created a fucking...
Oh, that's my favorite phrase. Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. He created a great fun... Yeah, John created this an amazing theme song for us from scratch. And yeah, it's gonna be good. In fact, John, I don't know if you heard me before we started actually streaming for everybody else, but as I walked downstairs and was trying to get my game face on for the show tonight, I had it playing in my pocket on my phone.
You came out to your own theme song.
I did. It was like I was walking down the street and I felt like I'm gonna get you, sucker. Where he's got his own theme song band walking behind him playing the song while he walks down the street. Oh, sorry, I'm walking back.
Oh, we can't play it. Lucifer wants us to play it. I don't know how to play it.
We can't play it yet, Lucifer. John and I actually just started talking about it today, and we realized that there is a way for us to embed it into the show, but it's going to take a little bit more effort. So we will do that. In fact, in the next couple days, I might just send it to you on
grab your phone
SoundCloud.
and play it.
Yeah? Do you want me to do that, John? Or do you want to wait to hear? It's John's choice.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, I was like, John.
Bree was like, "Oh, that I could always grab my phone and play it on my phone through play it on my phone right now, and that the mic will
Oh
pick it up."
no, you got to hear it in full
Okay.
fidelity.
See?
No way.
The purist right there. That's what I said.
I was
No
like,
artist
that's
wants you to
kinda
be like, "Hey, I'll take a quick picture of it. How about I send it to you really fast? I'll fax you a picture of it. You
Okay.
will love this
Now
art."
you gotta play your Instagram song.
It's my Instagram song.
Your song that you always listen to about your maker's song.
It's bourbon night, folks. Again, I don't
He doesn't know what the hell that. Oh my god.
I don't know what
She
she's
said
talking about.
facts.
Somebody wants me to fax it, huh? Nice.
Fax
On
it. Fax it.
John, do you have fun tonight?
Put that-
Sorry,
yeah,
go
let's
ahead.
put that on our swag. Thirsty therapy. Fax it.
Fax it.
I'm gonna
Hit the
die.
meniscus and fax it.
If you miss the meniscus and then it said ... just fax it on the back. Thirsty
Hit the
therapy.
meniscus or fax it.
Or fax it.
Fax it.
Bam! Oh my god, I think I gotta get a tattoo suddenly.
All right, you run out.
Right
see
on my
what tattoo
chest.
shops are still.
Yeah.
What's still open?
I'll be walking to my neighbor's house. He's got one good eye and a really steady hand when he drinks enough.
Whatever
I'm gonna-
headspace you're in right now, Billy. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
I hate you right now. You're the guy we used to send off to the tattoo shop right next to the. So there was a tattoo shop right next to the bar that I used to work at, right across the street from college, and
Wait, there was?
yeah, and
Where?
people used to come over to get their liquid courage to try and go over to the tattoo shop.
Where?
Dose was here, and then there was the strip place and the strip mall thing
Behind.
behind it,
Okay.
and then right next to it was the
I just
burger
came there
place.
to get liquid courage to do oral Spanish exams.
Yeah. Did you hear that, everybody? She came there to get liquid courage to do oral.
No, Spanish exams.
Cuando estoy borracho.
See?
I know where you're at, Bree.
I just would friggin' smile at all the students that I'd feed at beers to at 12:30 in the afternoon.
really just
How do,
wanted
your
college.
how do your parents like paying for that?
I really just was over there watching Billy carry 1,200 cases of Corona. And
I flexed a lot when I moved Corona across the bar. All right, should we let...
Thirsty therapy. Corona movers.
Hey, I do have to say, now that you said that, I was going to already sign off. This is your fault, if anything. Sorry. I saw a bunch... I just saw this thing recently of a bunch of different bartender girls that were going through and popping bottles, and I was just like, memories. And it was literally like it was just over and over again of clips of a bunch of people holding like 6 to 7.
you said girls.
Girls holding 6 to 7 bottles of beer and then doing this solid pop that we used to do because, John, we were selling it for $2. So there was a good chance I was giving you at least 10 every time I was handing you one.
Right.
So it was just this constant, you just lined them
I
up in
can
your
hear it
arms
still.
and you had okay, here you go, and put them back on the bar and off you sell them, and there you go. I told you that was a fun, that was probably the most lucrative bartending I've ever done, and yet the most unrefined bartending I've ever done as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
rocks.
not quite what we offer on Thirsty Therapy. That said, stay tuned for Paper Bag Night coming up soon.
Just wait. There's going to be Paper Bag Night Part 1 and Part 2. Paper Bag Night where we put we drink things that should be in paper bags. And the second night where John and I wear paper bags on our heads as we taste
Paper bag flavor.
Oh, a blind tasting.
blind taste as we taste things. Yeah. Don't you see by the end? We'll put like funny faces on them, and by the end they're just like droopy because we've like accidentally spilled whiskey on the paper bag.
They're like falling apart.
Right? They're just like peeling away.
You gotta like cut a face at them though. So
All right, I'm sorry. My imagination got the best of me. Bree's drunk. We better go.
Nice scapegoating.
I know.
I can't stop laughing.
She can't hear me, right?
No, not at all. It's awesome. Story time with Uncle Billy. Come on, kids, sit down. Let me tell you about the time I was maimed.
The Switch story.
Which story?
The Switch.
Oh, no.
That's my favorite story.
Are you going to tell us one final story? What's the story? I don't know what's her favorite story.
She's dying over here right now. Lucifer, I hope you two are proud of yourselves. Wait, what's it say? The story got the pass. So it is that the Switch story. I was not expecting Bree to. That was fucking inaudible right there. The Switch story, John, is this. I had my grandparents raised me on both sides, my dad's parents and my mom's parents. And my dad's parents were Depression era kids. And they didn't fuck around. And so Bree started talking about the Switch story, and that is the story where if I got in trouble, I'd have to go out and pick my own Switch to get.
No, the bike one though, but no, the bike part.
Oh, that's a totally different grandpa.
But it's still kind of. Oh, see, no, okay,
totally
sorry.
different person.
Okay, so
This is why Bree doesn't tell the
Bree's
story.
drunk. Tell the bike story. That should have been what I said.
Okay. No, we can save that
Next
for another
time.
one. We'll
Oh.
finish.
All right.
We're gonna finish.
Tune in next time
Right.
for...
Thanks, John. I used to have to pick my own Switch. I guarantee you Tarts probably is the only person who knows what I'm talking about right now. You go outside and pick your own Switch, boy, and you come back in here. That's... Anybody? If you know what I'm talking about, tune in for the next show, and you can, in fact, email John and I in the meantime and be like, yes, I know what you're talking about, or what the fuck is your hillbilly madness happening right now? In the meantime, or
In the meantime,
Maybe
December
try to find a
4th for more Hillbilly Madness.
hillbilly madness.
Fax me, hit your meniscus.
Oh my god, I love you right now.
Lucy knows about switches.
Snort your antidepressants. Let's go, folks. Have a great rest of your night. Thanksgiving coming
Night.
up. Spend your time well medicated with your family. Yeah, Luce, if you know about switching.
The other grandpa. Night, everybody.